Mayday! Come in! If anyone can hear me, my starship has been pulled into the anomaly. I find myself in a strange new world. It is a world with no sun, no stars. It is a world of anime. Comics. Here we go! Gaming. Movie. This world is the Rogue Planets. With your host, the Fat Mantis HD.
Hello and welcome to Rogue Planet. I am your host, the Fat Mantis, now in HD. Thank you for stopping by Twitch and YouTube's premier nerd interview, reporting, analysis, and review show. Most importantly, an interview, because I got a great interview tonight. Today's guest star is going to be DJ Cincy Star himself, and we're going to be talking about the FX show Atlanta. Now, who in the chat loves that show? See what's going on here. We've got a Hold Up TV. We've got Sea-Witch. We've got Welcome in Laney O. And welcome everybody. Hello. You know what? I'm just going to call my boy up right now. And before we get started, I just want to remember. Oh. We don't want that logo there. So this is quality programming. None of that Hold Up TV stuff. And before you start it off, I just want to remind you to like, share, and subscribe on whatever app you're using this bad boy for. Hello, Cincy Star.
Hello. What's going on, brother?
How are you, my brother?
Oh, I am doing good.
We can finally do this episode.
Yes, sir. It's been a few weeks coming, at least.
It's been weeks in the making. How are you doing tonight?
Oh man, I am doing good. Woke up, had a kind of a crappy day at the beginning, but it worked itself out, and it has ended with me here after just getting a text message from Verizon that they're going to give me $25 off of each one of my phone lines.
Yo, honestly, I love days that happen like that. It's actually, here's what I'm saying. It's better to have a bad day start that ends good than a good day that turns into complete crap. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I 100% agree.
That's what I'm saying. And the best part is you're here on Rogue Planet.
Absolutely.
Princess Bax, welcome in. So we are talking tonight about Atlanta, the FX hit show by Childish Gambino. Some of you call him Donald Glover. He will always be Childish Gambino to me.
I like it.
I can't even call him by his real name. It's just so weird.
It is. You know what? It is an odd name. If you really think it, like Donald.
He sounds like that dude from. He has a similar name to the dude from Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. Yep.
But not only that, it's like, when do you ever see a rapper and then suddenly you start calling them by their real name? You know what I'm saying? When they get famous, like I'm sure that has happened before.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is
like when people see Jay in the street. They go, "What up, Jay?" They do not call him. What's his name?
Sean Carter.
There we go, Sean Carter. That's just like a plain name.
I mean, I guess Diddy for a minute went by Sean Combs, but that's different. I don't even.
Yeah, if you consider him a rapper.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a conversation for another time. But that is funny. I'm glad that we see eye to eye on that, because some people will argue that they're like he's one of the greats. You need to respect him. I'm like, do I? You know,
he's will go down in the history of entertainment, and that's why I'll leave that one.
Right. In the chat, Lainey says that was my day too. Okay, so she had a garbagey day that ended up being awesome. So love to hear that. So Atlanta. So Atlanta is, finally Childish Gambino. I think you've probably seen him in his earlier works when he was like on Community.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a low-level comedian. He had great stand-up. I'm going to just put that on the record. He had amazing stand-up. But he was just doing these like very not pathetic, but just like he was always a side character on some show. And now's his time, right? He gets his own show. And so what he has actually publicly said is that he wanted to do all the weird stuff, and we're going to get into the weird stuff in a minute. But the executives weren't going to sign off on that. So what he originally said, this is how he pitched it. He said it's like Curb Your Enthusiasm with rappers. No, I feel the show's nothing like that. It's like on another level. It's another plane of existence, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's definitely nothing like that. But I could see how that would land as a pitch.
Well, definitely because a lot of the episodes are just about weird interactions you have, and they're not very important, right? You know what I mean? Like there's one episode where like he's looking for his jacket. He went to a party and he left his jacket, and he's walking around town, and he goes to Chick-fil-A or whatever, and like he has to use the dollar menu and all that stuff. It's just a great episode, but it's really not about anything, right?
No, it's not.
But this show is epic on so many levels. So it's funny, but it's also very dramatic. Am I right?
Yeah, yes. I would almost say that it's dramatic before funny. I mean, without taking away that it is a very funny show, I would say that the dramatics come first.
Yes, no, I absolutely agree. And I would actually say a lot of the funny things that happen in the show, it's in the process of being dramatic. And so like an example I'll give, a character that I thought was hysterical was Paperboy's like his cousin. Or no, it's not even his cousin. His boy gets out of jail and he gets to stay on the couch. And he's like a roughneck, man. He's like a thug compared to them. And every time he was on scene saying anything, doing anything, he was just funny. But that character is so real because I feel like I've met a guy like that all over the place. Like I know people like that.
Absolutely. And that's one thing, like you just mentioned, that I love about the show is every character in some way or another is relatable. And it might not be to you, but someone that is that character.
Yes. Although I would say Lakeith Stanfield, who does a great job in it, he's like on a next level.
He's an alien.
Yes, exactly. He's like some alien, wise, enlightened figure just hanging out with the poor folks of Atlanta. So for those of you who don't know, and welcome into the stream, Miss Hippie. It's been a while, hasn't it? That was definitely a cousin, Roy. So yeah, Ray. That's right, Ray. He was definitely a Ray. So the show is about. So here's what it is. It's not really about a rapper, even though a main character is a rapper. It's about, of all things, the manager of a rapper. I mean, isn't that pretty dynamic?
That is, because I was actually, just thinking about this last night, getting ready for the show, and I was debating in my head who the main character of the show actually is, because we're presented with Paperboy, Al being the main character, but I think most of the story arc is guided through the daily experiences of Earn, the manager. Yeah.
The manager. So, I've always thought of it as Earn's show because, he's Childish Gambino. It's Childish, he writes and directs it, and like it's his baby. But there is like, I think him and Paperboy are strong contenders for the main character.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I absolutely adore it. For those of you guys who don't know, you need to check it out on FX. Nowadays I watch it all on Hulu. I'm not even sure if I watch cable anymore.
Yeah, no, I've watched the whole thing on Hulu. I haven't had cable in probably a decade.
Right, who has cable, right? SMH, welcome in. So the show doesn't just do drama. It doesn't just do comedy, but it also takes shots at like things that are happening in society. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so let me ask you, can you think of any episodes that really like you love the moral point that they came out with?
Okay, so hold on. The moral point for me, and I'll just go for the very first season for this
Right.
one. The episode Go for Broke, when Ern tries to take Van out on the date because she thinks that he's lazy and not helping out. And in the same episode, I think the Migos were in it,
Yes.
and Darius and Al get caught up because he's trying to live up to the hype of being a big time drug dealer, which is what he's speaking about in his rap. And then Ern kind of trying to figure out how to be who he sold himself as, being this manager, versus the reality that he lives in, which is, you know, a broke
A broke
partner.
fool.
Yeah, a broke fool. And for me, it was like, it was coping with the dreams you have in your head versus the reality that's actually right in front of you.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely well said. And I think in that episode, well, here's what it is. What's funny is they're living like a fantasy life, or they're like, we're gonna make it rich any day. We're gonna flaunt like we're rich. But then Ern's baby mama calls, kind of technically, she doesn't realize it, calls him out on it. She's like, when are you gonna take me out?
Yep.
And then he's got no money in his bank account. He's got almost no money. And I don't know, have you ever been on a date like that?
I have been on many dates like that, unfortunately.
Where he's counting every dollar.
Mhm.
And he's thinking of parking the car next to a homeless man who's willing to take $1 just to protect his car rather than use parking, because parking costs way more.
Yep.
Or like he doesn't get a drink or an appetizer because, like, you know, he doesn't, you know, he has to spend it all on her. Like he ends up getting a soup.
Yeah. That was, yes, I remember.
I have definitely been on a date like that where you don't want to prove that you're a broke ass fool. And you're like, how can I move? And you're like, why don't we go for a walk, baby? You know, like
Exactly.
a moonlight night walk. That's perfect. Let's go to the museum because that shit is like pay what you feel or whatever.
Yeah, but you know, when you're projecting a false image of yourself, the people around you are expecting you to be able to do certain things. So if you say you can take her to a nice dinner,
yeah,
or you live like you can take her to a nice dinner,
no,
yeah,
well, that is the whole thing, because it's actually a while. I think you know, there are 3 seasons. It's not until the 3rd season that any of them have any money.
Yes.
Like even by the end of 2nd season, they're just they're like, you're like, is this what being a rapper is like? It's freaking horrible.
For real.
And it even gets to the point where Paperboy becomes well known. People are spotting him out as things throughout season 2. People are like, yo, Paperboy, but he's still broke.
Yep.
And that's got to be the hardest thing, that you're famous, but you don't even get paid for it. You know what I mean? In season 1, this is actually the go-to episode that I show people to turn them on to the show. And so this episode is not like any other episode, but that's the brilliance of it. And so it's called Ban.
Oh,
the Black American Network, which is a parody of BET. And so what's funny is like Ern and all the rest of the gang aren't even in it. It's just Paperboy, and he goes on like, you know, he goes on like on a Black consciousness show that airs at like 2 a.m. And you know, obviously the guy who's behind it is like supposedly like a woke Black guy, and he keeps trying to call him on his thing, but Paperboy can't help but being who he is.
Yes.
And it's funny. Talks about a lot of things. There's a huge joke on it about being transracial. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Hi, my book friend. Welcome in. That the side story of this. And so here's the whole thing. What's cool about the episode is it's entirely done like an episode of someone else's show, an interview show. And they even make fake commercials.
Yes.
I mean, it was brilliant.
That episode, that first season, when I first saw it, I was so freaking lost. Like, I was enjoying it, but I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, I tuned in for an episode of Atlanta, and they're giving me like this mock interview of Paperboy. And at any moment, I was expecting it to cut out and get into the show, and it never did. Like
Yes,
that was the whole episode. And after that, I'm glad you brought that up, because after that, that was like when I really was thinking, this is going to be a great show, because I still don't know why they did that, but it was brilliant and it was funny as heck.
Everything you're feeling, I've absolutely I felt, and it was like I was like, I thought that was just the beginning. You know, when they do like a cold opening and it's like different. I was like, when are you going to get to the show? I don't even think they had their own intro. I think they had that fake show's intro.
Yep.
And we're just watching it, and it's actually, it takes a little while before it gets hysterical, because you're like, we're watching him get interviewed. Who cares about this? But then it just gets totally ridiculous. And so the premise, everybody, is that they if you haven't seen it, they take the ghetto Atlanta rapper and they put him in there with a white female professor of, I think it was like gender studies, and she's trying to crucify him for tweets he's made. It was hysterical. I love that they're like, well, would you like to explain your tweet? Nah, I'm good. Like, can you explain it? He goes, I said what I said. Wonderful. It was amazing.
Yes.
That episode blew my freaking mind.
Those episodes, to me, especially in this final season, are what has made it stand out from other shows, in my opinion.
So are we going to cut straight to season 3? I got a lot to say about season 3. Like season 3, there were times I was offended.
Yes, we can do it either way, because I've got an outline for the episodes that meant something to me in each season. But if we want to just jump to 3,
you know what it is? I have so much to say about season 3. Let's first get into some of your stuff because I got a lot to say about season 3.
Okay, okay, that's good.
Oh, what other episodes you got?
Okay, for season 1, the other episode that like super jumped out to me that I thought was absolutely comical was the Nobody Beats the Beavs episode, where he plays in the the celebrity basketball game, but it's against Black Justin Bieber.
Yes. And so, you know the backstory behind that? They wrote it and they actually wanted Justin Bieber to be in it, and then he wanted way too much money.
Oh, no, I'm glad that didn't happen, because I think him not being in it made it that more comical.
I love it. And they did the episode anyway, and they cast a black guy to just play Justin Bieber, so he's just Black Justin Bieber.
Yes. and then behind all of that going on, I believe, there were so many crazy things that happened in that episode. First, Ern was trying to network and ended up having to be of someone that he wasn't, because remember the white lady thought he was a different black guy.
Right, because they all look alike, right? To her,
exactly. and then there was another part in Darius's little like side thing where he was at the gun range, and the two like country Georgian guys got mad at him because he was shooting a poster of a dog instead of a human.
Oh my God, I remember that. And then the hillbillies get mad.
Yes.
And they're like, he's like, why can't I shoot a target of a dog, but you can shoot like people? And like, they have pictures of black guys that they're shooting at. And the only one who has his back are the Arabs.
Yep.
The Arabs are like, this is America. He can shoot at whatever he wants. And of course, he's not causing trouble, but he gets thrown out because he's the troublemaker, right?
Yep.
And that's what's great about that character. Why do I keep blanking on Lakeith Stanfield's character's name?
It's Darius, I believe.
Darius, right?
Yeah.
Darius shines a light on so many things, like weird moments, which we'll get into. But like, he shines a bright light on things about society that you're like, well, that is weird. Why do they do that?
Yep. He's very smart, but they almost play his smartness in one of those like old comedic relief roles where they make him come off like is the jokester, but he actually says a lot of stuff that makes more sense than it should.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, that was a good one. That was a good one. Any others in season 1?
Season 1, do I have I think those were the two big ones. Like season 1 had me hooked, but I thought those were the two that I was like, yep, I'm ready for
And I love this that we have different favorites. I do love those episodes because I don't think like I'm not even sure if there's an actually I think there is only one episode I don't like. But for my other favorite one from season 1 was the club. Where they go to the club and he has to perform, and Ern has to get the money from the shady Nigerian club owner who keeps disappearing into the crowd. He's like, yo, man, I'm about to get you your money. Here, have a shot. And then he slides away. Or he introduces him to a girl and then he slides away.
Mm-hmm.
That was hysterical, man.
Yes, it was. And that was another one of those real life moments where, for at least if you're trying to make it as a rapper, because I believe that was also the episode where he was getting shit on by someone that was just a guest in the crowd, not even a performer.
Yes.
And so he had like this little corner VIP section. And who was it? I can't remember. I want to say it was Tank or somebody like that, but he had like the whole upper room to himself, all the women. Right. Yes. And he just had this little corner table with like 2 women there.
Yeah,
ordering bottles that he couldn't pay for until Ern got the money.
Right, and also they were only there for the drinking.
Yes,
they weren't. Yeah, they weren't real fans. Or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
And so I love at the end when Ern can't get the money, and then Paperboy has to step up, and Paperboy goes in the office, and then he beats up. He just decks the shit out of the club owner, and the club owner gives him his money, and the club owner is crying. And as soon as he leaves, he goes, damn, that boy's gonna be a star. And of course that episode has the invisible car joke. So in the beginning of the episode, Lakeith, or should I say Darius is showing them, and he's like, yo, the other rapper who's gonna be here, he's like, yo, he's got an invisible car. He's like, what are you talking about? It's on his Instagram. And then he's pretending to be on like an invisible, like but at the very end, he really has an invisible car because you see him driving away. And that's when the show started to make the like just weird humor. Mm-hmm. That because when that happened too, I was like, am I on drugs right now? Did I smoke too much before this episode? Like, what's happening?
I don't know if they smoke while they're writing these episodes, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, the show's been getting increasingly weirder and weirder, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think my sister would call it artsy. Like she said, it got too artsy for her. And I understand sometimes it's like slow, but it's slow. But when it actually pays off, it pays off big. Mm-hmm. But it is like they must be smoking.
It has evolved into a show that has more of a feel of like Jordan Peele, Get Out. There's some like horror elements.
Oh, remember the Juneteenth episode?
Yes.
That's a great one. That's an absolute great
one. Oh, yes. That
where he goes to a Juneteenth party, and it turns out, a black woman's throwing it, but it turns out she's married to a white guy. Mm-hmm. And the white guy just makes him and all the other black guests just feel weird the entire fucking time. There's definitely a horror. There's some horror.
I want to say this. You can be an ally and not have to be overly woke. And that's what that guy was way too fucking woke to be a rich white guy.
And so, we should talk about the whole white thing going on in this, right?
Yes.
Because here's what it is. They are clearly making fun of the white liberal ally. Mm-hmm. That so obnoxiously is just like, I'm fighting for your rights. And then they do it too hard. They're like going too hard.
Yes.
And like next thing you know, there's a white guy wearing a dashiki. And you're like, yo, brother, take that shit off, right? But from that moment, they start cranking up. And I don't want to call them attacks. I want to, it's all in good fun. It's all in humor. But they really enjoy making fun of not white people. Because I noticed they make poor white people just normal. Mm-hmm. But white people who are middle class or higher, when they appear on the show, they are ridiculous.
Yes. Wholeheartedly agree.
Actually, I might want to show a clip because do you remember an episode where it opens up with a white woman complaining about his rap lyrics? She's like, I caught my daughter listening to this, and then she starts reciting them.
Not off just that. I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. How do I say this? White woman. I'm looking. I'm on. I'm on. Oh, here it is. I see. I wrote in Atlanta white woman, and it was the first hit. Freaking love this. Okay, so we're gonna switch over into our share mode. So yeah, because I believe that I can respectfully get away with showing a couple of like clips here and there without getting in trouble. Because it's like a 20-second rule or something. Let's see what's going on here. Ooh. Okay. And then okay. So I'm gonna hit up this clip right now. So guys, this is a cold opening to an episode. Enjoy.
Whew, I'm fuming now. So I was taking my 10-year-old Destiny to school this morning. Now, she loves that 96.5 radio station. It's like the hits or top 40 hits or something. This rap song comes on, and it was just disgusting. You okay, baby? You want to do swaps? So, I looked up the lyrics. And the song is by this guy, Paperboy. And I'm going to read you what was planned. So there's going to be some cussing. But it's not my words. Okay, so here it goes. Bitch, I need reparations. Niggas tired of dancing like the Temptations. Sell a dime bag or that new crack fentanyl. The same reason Prince killed. My dick is like a tree trunk. Baby, catch this tree sap. Kicked you out the condo. This ain't the place you sleep at. You can do it all night. You can be my baby mama. You can't ever be my wife. Crazy. Said no to college because it's no fun. Mo drugs and mo guns. But I still might have to slap a trick. Shout out Colin Kaepernick. I'm sorry. This is what was on.
So that was brilliant. Am I right?
Yes. First off, shout out to that lady for doing that. I'm mad as hell was finally the Colin Kaepernick line. The Kaepernick line. That's what she couldn't take anymore after
Kaepernick. That was gold. That was pure comedy gold, right? So, and Joe, I really wish I could listen to that to a beat. I really want to know if the beat works on that one.
I'm surprised they don't have a soundtrack of just Paperboy songs.
And so apparently the rap lyrics that they use, because very rarely do we hear him sing. So Donald Glover's brother, Stephen Glover, actually is also an underground rapper, and he writes all the lyrics and shit. Which it's not enough. I feel like there should be more. I wish I could have more. Like actually see his performance or whatever. Right. But those lyrics are great. Shout out Colin Kaepernick. She's like, this ain't the place you sleep at.
That is great, man.
And so they continue a tradition on that show of doing that, like mocking white people that hard. Like, look at what upper class white people are like.
Yes.
Right. It's sometimes it gets cruel. Which they particularly did this season.
Yes.
They took many hits at the white man.
There were swipe after swipe after swipe, and not just American white men, because they did it to the European white men as well.
Oh yeah. No, yes, they did. Public says, have you seen the original video this is making fun of? I actually don't know that there's an original video of it. So they're parroting something that really happened? I didn't know that. Of like an upset mom. And so any final thoughts on season 1 before we get on to season 2?
No, no.
So what are your thoughts of season 2? Robin season is the subtitle of it.
I really liked this season because I think like they got through the first season jitters or whatever that every show has. By the end of season 1, they found their footing. But to start the season off with a robbery at what was it, like a chicken place?
Yeah, it's a drive-through like chicken place. It's like, I don't know if it's a real place or just a made-up place, but that was funny.
Yeah,
that's a great scene, actually.
Yes. I was like,
actually that could be in like a real movie. That was like a well thought out scene. Yeah,
I loved it.
Just guns blazing and shit and like all that stuff.
So I've got 4 particular, even though season 2, if I had to rank it episode to episode, I think every one of them to me would have been an 8 or better.
I think, like I said, I think they rarely have a bad episode. I think I love, obviously you're always going to love more, some other than ever, but there's very few episodes I've walked away from and I was like, that was trash.
So the 4 that stuck out to me was the episode called Helen, where Van takes Ern to that German party.
Oh, right. Okay.
Then there's the Teddy Perkins.
Oh, wait, before we get on the Teddy Perkins, let's talk about the German festival thing.
Yes,
so I'm confused about Van's character. Is she half white or something?
Yes. I think the only time it came out was in that episode that she was mixed.
Okay.
And so that was like a family tradition on.
Because that's what I was confused about. I was like, I don't know black girls who go to German festivals like that and like go ahead. Like she was going ham. She was in cosplay. Yeah. She's living up the German thing. And I was like, is this a thing? Is this a thing in the hood that there are some like black girls who fetishize the white?
It just
okay. So that clarifies that.
It just seeing how out of place he felt while that was going on, and then ultimately her understanding, because I think at the beginning of the episode she didn't understand why he was uncomfortable, and I think by the end of it excuse me, she starts to see like the discrepancies in the way they behave towards her because she's been there and done that versus a new black person,
black person, right?
Yes.
And so she's the exception.
Yes.
Is what it is. They make an exception for her, but then it gets weird if more black people start showing up.
Yes, exactly.
Public, I see your link. It's not letting me actually click on the link in my app. Could you put it in my Discord and then I'll play it for everybody? But apparently Public came up with the original, they were parroting that. And obviously a lot of stuff Paperboy goes through is stuff that actually really happens in real life. As a matter of fact, I was rewatching some episodes, and there's one where he gets into a fight with his girl, and because his girl is taping him and putting him on Instagram when he doesn't want to. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's the Will and Jada shit. And the first time I had seen that, I didn't realize that. I didn't make that connection.
Mm-hmm.
But go on, what other episodes?
All right, so we got the Teddy Perkins episode, which was that might be the weirdest episode of the whole thing, but basically Darius goes to that mansion to buy the piano from a guy who turns out to look like a knockoff, like completely plasticed out Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he's like a parody of Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Like, he used to be a pop star. He hides from the world, and he's done so much modification to himself. He's a weird white doll man or whatever.
Yes. That was, I still don't even know what to make of that episode.
And I got some behind the scenes stuff from this one. So I don't know if you knew this. I definitely didn't do it with doing it. Teddy Perkins is played by Donald Glover.
I did not know that.
And when they first came on, when Lakeith first came on the set, they didn't tell him that it was Donald Glover in the makeup. For a while, he was between takes, stayed in character, and was pretending that he was just like an actor. And like for the longest, like Heath didn't catch on. That was Donald Clark. That episode was weird, but it was very deep.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that, this might be an unfavorable. People might not like this, but Teddy Perkins is supposed to be like Michael Jackson, right? It's a metaphor for Michael Jackson, and the Teddy Perkins character is thankful to his abusive dad, who used to beat him if he would play the piano bad or dance bad. And he's like, I'm thankful because he made me great. And I'm like, what? But I actually think there are a lot of people out there who would have that attitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's clearly he's making some sort of commentary on the business or people who make it in the business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not sure what.
No, like I said, I'm not sure. There was a lot of moments in there that were, revealing, as I felt were, deep. First, the fact that he's past his, clearly his performing days and is holding on to all of these things. It kind of shows how hard it can be to move on from something that you dedicated your life to. Because he's literally got everything he's ever had in there, whether it's valuable or not.
Right.
And he's just holding on to it like he's, still that person. Now, I think, and this could be said about hoarders, I believe, that there's some type of psychological weirdness going on that makes you want to hold on to stuff like that. And it doesn't fully come out until you get the basement scene and you see that he has what I'm assuming is a twin brother.
Yeah,
up to the chair in his basement.
Yo, the end of that episode, it goes to places I was never expecting it to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't think that, I'm not going to say what it is for our audience so you guys can still enjoy the episode, but it goes to such a place. I was like, oh my God, they went there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It was crazy, man. I didn't think they were going to put his character through that, but okay, let's see what this chick is all about. She looks like she's got some fun things to say.
Okay, I'm going to give it a second, see if some people hop on. I was really contemplating on doing this video. All morning it has bothered me. It has ate at me, and I'm still upset. Like, as a mom, I'm just mad. Like, I am mad. I'm going to give it a second.
Public, by the way, thank you for sharing.
In the background, so if she comes up here and wants me to hold her, she might. All right. Okay, so what's the matter, baby? So I'm on my way, taking the kids to school this morning. I have an 11-year-old daughter, Aaliyah. She loves that 104.5 radio station. She loves it, and I'm like, whatever. Like, it's the top hits, right? I remember listening to the top hits when I was a kid, like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and those were the top hits when I was a kid, right? Nowadays, it's not the same, right? Not the same at all. And I had taken Aaliyah to school first, then I drop off Aubrey, then I take Gabriella at the ECC. She's the last that I drop off. The radio station was on, and I think Meghan Trainor had just played, which is fine. I don't mind that, okay? I usually listen to, like, The Effect. It's all Toby Mac, Newsboys. It's Christian music. That's what I usually have it on in my car. I had just dropped Gabby off, and this rap song comes on. And guys, I could not believe what I was hearing. Like, this is on our local radio station. This crap is being played. I couldn't even believe the words that I was listening to. And as a mom, it infuriated me. Like, why is this on here? Like, so obviously the cuss words were bleeped out. but I'm not stupid. Like we can dictate what they're saying, right? And it, like, I started to get tears in my eyes. It upset me so much. And my 11-year-old daughter listens to this radio station.
A rap song did this?
Never again will she listen to this. And I want to read. I looked up the song and I looked at the lyrics and I read the lyrics. I cannot believe this stuff is on the radio. I'm sorry. I've got to collect myself because this is what our youth is being subjected to. Okay, I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to just listen to the words.
This is going to be some soft shit.
And I'm telling you that some of this I'm going to cuss. I'm just going to repeat what it says. But these aren't my words, obviously. I just want you to listen to it, okay? All right. Okay. It's a little long, so bear with me. It says, "Bitch, you thirsty? Please grab a Sprite. My Crip's lurking. Don't die tonight. I just want to dance with you, baby. Just don't move too fast. I'm too crazy. Man down the Ave and get shaded. Take a nigga mind off that. We can dip. Fuck in the whip, slide right back in the function. One wrong word, start busting. Put that on my Yankee hat. I'm a gangster Crip. Fuck gangster rap. Where the ladies at? Where the hoes? Where the bitches? Every real nigga know the difference. Bandana brown like the dope daddy. Shooting in the kitchen. Real Nerf side nigga, never went to Polly, Wilson, or Cabrilla, cocaine color of acrylo. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. T-scrap moving for the D-Lo, what he know. Then that was the first verse. This is the main chorus says, I ain't never ran from nothing but the police. From the city where the skinny carry strong heat. Nerf side, Long Beach, Nerf side, Long Beach. So let's just encourage kids to run from the police because that's okay, right? We wonder why this society is so messed up. Listen to the music. This is the second verse. Hit the corner, make a dollar flip, and split the dollars with my mama children. Folks need Porsches. Hoes need abortions. I'm sorry. I just need y'all out my business. Never no problem. Playing no pitches. Never no problem. Spraying no witnesses. No face, no case. Been with the shit. Hopped out broad day, then emptied clips. This is where it gets really messed up. Cut class because it wasn't about cash. So talking about cutting school. School wasn't no fun because I couldn't bring my gun. No when change gonna come like Obama would say. But they shooting every day round my mama and them way. So we put an AK where Kanye and them stay, and that's where any nigga say he got a problem with me. Now I'm crippin' where I'm living. Come and follow me, pistol poppin' Poppy Street. Then it goes back to the main chorus. I ain't never ran from nothing but the police for the city where the skinny carry strong heat. Nate Dogg still here. Nate Dogg's still here because of niggas like me. Police still scared because of niggas like me. Really? In the hood like a dollar sweet tea or a Lucy burger. You ain't with the business, nigga. Who you murdered. You ain't heard of Cold Chain, best thing, smoking out the city, riding around with some shotgun that shot Ricky. Little nigga should zigzagged. Then he got his back wet. Now he running Nerf side. Niggas better fact check. Frontin' with the gun talk. I ain't heard a clap yet. All my niggers from a street. They a nigga best yet. Set for little halftime. Brody
I just saw her because she was dropping too many N-bombs for this channel. Like,
Oh man.
the most surprising thing, the thing that makes me laugh the hardest on all of this is she's not, it's not like she's an old lady. She's like a young lady. So why is she so triggered? She's never heard rap music before. That's unbelievable. Crying. Like, honestly, like, that's next level. Yo, Pubs, thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was nuts, man. That lady's nuts. She needs therapy. But anyway, yo, thank you for finishing that for us, Pubs. So that's the real deal right there. But what other episodes you got for me?
All right. So the other episode was Woods, where I believe that's the one where Al gets lost and started getting stalked by the mysterious,
like, homeless dude,
yeah,
whatever
homeless guy in the
some
woods.
weird dude
Yeah.
out in the woods. Yeah, and that's actually, I think, the episode where him and his girl get into a fight because she put him on Instagram when he didn't want to be.
Yes. Yes, and I think that stood out to me because it was the first time, other than like for 2 minutes when he originally questioned Al why he wanted to be his manager. It was like the first time where he started questioning the people that were around him.
That seems to be continuing thread, and that definitely revisited in season 3, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one I got for season 2, the final one I got for season 2 was one of the out of the story episodes, but it was Fubu, where
I love that episode.
Yes, where basically Ern is getting clowned on because he's got the knockoff fucking Fubu
Fubu gear that he got on at Marshall's or some shit.
Yes.
And so that's another episode where I feel him because when I was a kid, I went through that same thing.
Yes, yeah. I feel like if you've been through some certain things, like that episode touched a memory in your heart, like, you know.
Yeah, and I love how it shows how deep their connection is, because we know them to be cousins, but how close are they? And like, you know, Paperboy came to his aid when he was a kid and stuff, and like that was pretty cool. Princess Max says she ain't triggered. She keeps dropping the N word. You're right. If she's so triggered, why does she keep saying it? Why doesn't she say N word when she's reading it or avoid it? You know. So, but yeah, no, that's Fubu's a great episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. And yo, I gotta say the season finale of that episode. I'm not gonna say what he does, but he does something to get out of trouble at the very end, and I love that whole move. That whole, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
That was amazing, man.
He's slick with some of the stuff that he's gotten away with some trouble in some episodes. Even the one I was joking about in season 1 where he went to dinner. You remember at the end of that episode, he found a way to get out of the bill he paid at the restaurant.
Yes, exactly. And actually, you know, it kind of shows you, here's a great thing about Ern. He is so driven that nothing's going to hold him back from making it. And so it all comes back to the first episode, because there's a thing where he's so down and out. He hates his job. He barely makes anything. He's riding the bus with his daughter, his little daughter in his arms. And there's like, you know, so he's dressed like a Muslim, but he's got the bow tie, the bald guy. He's like a weirdo sitting across from him. And Ern just starts crying and he says, "Am I supposed to lose so that others can win?" And you could just tell he was fed up of losing.
Yes.
And now he's not going to allow anything to let him lose.
Yep.
He's driven, and that's what's up. That's what you got to do to get out the hood, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so he's a hustler that we can, because he hustles for his shit. he's a hustler we can really get behind, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, for a while there, he was living in a storage unit. You know what I mean? Like, and he just hustles to make his
Yes.
dollars go farther, and you know, I freaking love that, man.
Yeah, I think, matter of fact, I think they revealed that storage unit at the end of season 1.
Right. You don't know
Yep.
that until the
Yeah.
very end when he's
Yep.
like, he goes home and his home is a storage unit. And you're like, oh, this poor bastard. Yeah. But yo, are you ready to talk about season 3? Because I want to talk about how I got triggered.
Yep, season 3.
So season 3 is a little different now.
Yes.
So that's our latest season. The finale just happened. I didn't love the finale compared to the other episodes.
Okay.
I feel like it was a weaker episode. But there are a lot of episodes that don't feature our characters from Atlanta, but instead feature wealthy white people.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
So can you guess which episode triggered me?
And it was one of the episodes that
It was
featured
one of the focus on other characters.
if I had to take a guess that triggered you, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it was Trinity to the bone.
No, that one did not trigger me. The one that really got under my skin, because that show had never gotten under my skin. It's actually, what's funny is this is an example of me probably laughing at other people, and then finally I felt like I was being joked on, and I was like, "What?" And so it's what is it? It's rich wigger, poor wigger.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, and so that's one where they go against the light skin man.
Yep. No, you know what? I literally I should have guessed that, and for some reason it didn't click in my head that was one of the episodes that didn't have any characters from it.
Yeah.
That
was an amazing episode.
Yes, it was a great episode. I actually have some things to say about that episode, including the guest feature that was in that one.
Okay. Go for it, bro.
Okay, so there are several times, especially in season 3, where we have guest appearances.
Right. A lot of them actually.
Every guest appearance in that show plays their own character and makes fun of their own character. The stuff that they've messed up in real life.
Right.
So leave it to damn Kevin Samuels to be the one person who won't use his real name, but still has to be the end all be all of judgment.
Okay.
That's the only thing that really, really triggered me about that episode, was that he still had to be judge, jury, and executioner on what it is to be somebody. And obviously that's not a topic that he went into in his show, but they still made kind of a parody of who he was. And after seeing that episode, because I ended up watching that one twice.
Yeah.
After
Definitely
seeing
worth
that episode, I am convinced more than ever that what he was actually doing was just a parody of what he really wanted to do in order to be able to monetize himself. He found a role that made him money instead of just being more conservative, instead of being like just the person who's focused on bettering the community. I'm not saying that wasn't a goal he started out with, but like, you find your niche. If people like you, yelling at women, that's what he went for.
Right. But I do find it interesting that he did play an asshole, though.
Yes.
Even though he is the savior of like lots of people in that episode, he isn't. He is an asshole. The character, right?
Yes. Now, man, now that I got the Kevin Samuels thing out, that episode, because we're both mixed here, so
yeah.
I don't want to say I got triggered by it, but I was like, I've understand what he's going through. At the same time, the person that they had play that character, and I think the reason they kept it in black and white is because he was completely ambiguous. He was almost to the point where he was white passing, in fact.
Well, that's the thing, because what it is that if they had done the episode in color, because here's what it is in the beginning of the episode, you're supposed to look at the character as he's just some white kid.
Yeah.
And then when you see his father, you're like, oh, he's mixed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they made it black and white, so there's no way you could tell.
Yes. Yeah.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? Yeah. So guys, I have a clip. So here, basically, the super breakdown, and there's a lot I'm not spoiling about the episode. But basically, the breakdown is a rich dude comes to his high school. This kid who's half black, half white, but he's mostly raised white. Like, it's like Midwest somewhere. I don't even remember where it was. Comes to the town and is like, I want to pay for every graduating senior's college tuition, but only the black students. And so the kid who has been taking advantage of being white his whole life and passing for white suddenly wants to be black. And they make him audition to see if he's black enough. That had me laughing. That had me dying. Oh my god. So guys, I do have the clip if you're willing to see the audition. Is it spoiling too much? Please let me know in the chat. I'll respect your wishes. I actually do have a clip of the auditions, because the auditions just had me cracking up, man.
Yes, no, and I know we're asking in the chat, but from just watching the episode, I don't think the audition is enough to spoil the episode.
Right, I know, because there's all these other twists and turns and things happen, and that's what I love about that show. There are times I never see what's going to happen on the show. For instance, the tripping episode. Remember when he gets tripping and he runs into Liam Neeson, and Liam Neeson's playing himself. Like the things Liam Neeson says to him. That literally, I was like,
oh my goodness. I was the same way, because it was like, I was thinking we're having a coming to moment. Liam Neeson jumped on the show to, pay his dues for what happened. And then he ends the conversation on some "I still hate you, motherfuckers" type.
Yo, the fact that they got him playing himself to say that on camera. Because, like, guys, he's tripping, so we don't know if this ever really happened, but he runs into Liam Neeson and he's tripping. And he's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, hey, how's it going, man? He's hanging out with him, and he's like, oh, thank God, I'm so glad you don't hate black people. Like, I hate black people. I hate the whole lot of you. And it's actually Liam Neeson doing it. We can't know, and we don't know. The auditions were fucking hilarious. I thought he was just a white kid. But I think they made it black and white because they wanted the audience to kind of pick what they thought he was. Yeah. And so I think in the beginning we all picked white, because he was having a suburban white experience. He's like, playing his video games or whatever, and he's got all his white friends. Run that shit. Okay, we are gonna run this thing. I'm so glad that Pubs is always down for anything. You know what I mean? Pubs' whole thing in life is do it. God damn, I love the show. I wish there were more episodes.
Yeah, and I think we've got to wait all the way until next year for the final season.
No, it's coming in fall.
Oh, it's coming in fall?
Because what it was is the reason why they had to do those other episodes without the main characters, so a couple of them, is because they were busy. And so what they did is they were like, well, let's make a season while we can. And we'll make what episodes we can make, and then back to back film 3 and 4. So
yeah, you know what? I'm glad you said that. I'm glad it's coming in fall, because I remember when I was reading up on it, they said that they had shot season 3 and 4 simultaneously. So I was like, when I first saw it was coming out in 2023, I'm like, well, if you guys are already done shooting, why do we have to wait a whole nother year to watch it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they just wanted to space them out or whatever. But guys, here's our whole here are the the black auditions. So the kid wants his scholarship. He goes to the thing, and they're like, come into the auditorium. We're gonna give you an audition.
Come into the light. Ooh, look at this high yellow. Ah! What's your name, boy?
Aaron.
You said Aaron.
It's kind of black. It's in the Bible.
Shut up, fool. That don't count.
I know some black Aarons. Go on.
Let's get started. We're going to ask you a few questions.
Name me 6 things that mix with Hennessy.
Guys, this is a black test.
Coke. Rum.
Oh, you say rum.
Mango. Coconut. Ice.
All right. Now he's just making up shit. That's all right. The rum was good enough. It was great. All right. What happened to that boy at Lenox Mall?
Oh, I heard about that on the radio this morning. A police officer killed him in a routine traffic stop, and his dad was in the car. Yeah, crazy.
I didn't say what happened to that boy at Lenox Mall. I said, what happened to that boy at Lenox Mall? And the answer was,
Damn shame.
All right, enough of the warm-up. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. All right, how long can chicken sit on the stove?
Bobby and Whitney are Will and Jada.
Whitney. No. Jada.
Where's the first place you take your cousin after you get out of jail?
Why did the 5 Heartbeats break up?
Your mama or your mother?
Sody Lizard Milk. NBA Youngboy. Silk pillow covers.
What color are Wendy's napkins?
CJ Doodoo Brown. 227 and Amen.
Holy Spirit or the Holy Ghost? Mustard or mayonnaise?
Crisco. If her foot is in it, it's good.
Take this pencil and make a beat on that table.
The price is on the can.
Urge a great Kool-Aid.
Spell Dante.
DQ or Popeyes?
What soda is good for you?
If Neo's hat gets any lower, it's gonna be on his blank.
Megan Trainor. Essence Fest. LAQUES.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
So, yeah, guys, that was his black audition, and oh man, that's funny for so many reasons, right?
Oh shit!
Right? So, that was fucking hysterical, man. And like, I wish I had heard some of those questions. Like, the answer to one was Megan Trainor. That was about thick girl. Like, take a pencil, play a beat on that table. And so it's interesting that it's clear what what this character wanted. What he means by black is he means culturally black.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And there's so many different types of black, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could be ethnically black. Let's face it. I'm just gonna say it. You could be ethnically black, but act white, right?
Yes.
I think we all
yes
on that shit all the time.
Yes, and that is called out at some point in that episode.
So I mean, it's interesting that what he perceived as black, and it had to be, and because this poor kid wasn't really raised in the culture, he gets denied it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I don't know if they showed that part, but there's a part where he's like, "I am black. My father's black," and they're like, "Well, bring him down here. We'll give him a scholarship."
Yeah.
And then one of the other ones goes, "And I know he didn't go to college."
Yes, that was it cut off right before that was about to happen.
Yeah. But that shit was oh my god, that episode. But so my original feeling was, why are you busting on the mulattoes? Why do you hate biracial people? I was finally offended for Atlanta for a show that endlessly jokes on white people. Right? So, and then I was talking to my sister, and then she was just like, "No, I don't think he was dissing it. He's just pointing out a phenomenon. He's just pointing out a phenomenon. This is just the way it is." And I was like, okay, I mellowed out. But it's so interesting that they were actually able to trigger me. That I said, what the fuck is this? What? Donald's my boy, and he's going to pull this shit on me?
Oh, man. That was it.
Beck says he failed, poor thing.
He did fail. For the audience watching, if anybody asks you what mixes with Hennessy, the correct answer is nothing.
Yeah, he's drinking straight, right? I love he's like mango, coconut, and ice. Izzy wants us to play. Now I'm not gonna not to deny you, Izzy, I'm not going to just keep playing scenes. Also, we're going to end in probably about another 10 minutes because I know you have to get ready for tonight's Dope Dynamics, correct?
That is correct. We got that going on a little bit later.
So what are your favorite episodes of the season 3?
Okay, so season 3. Matter of fact, I don't know if there's an episode, I'm be honest with you, that I don't like. I think the weakest one was Trinity to the Bone.
I didn't get you know what it is? I couldn't be offended by him because I didn't know what they were trying to say.
I'm not quite sure I understood, because a lot of the episodes that don't have anything to do with the plot have some sort of morality behind them, something that you can apply to real life. And I think for Trinity to the Bone, what they did with that one, not only did they make the jokes on the same type of white family that they have been making jokes on, what I didn't exactly understand is how they did that and tried to make a mockery of the Trinidadian family at the same time. So it just felt like it was one of those episodes that, and I shouldn't say one of those episodes because I don't think they have them often in the show, but where it just like everything about it, it was funny, but it was a complete miss for Atlanta standards.
I agree. And so that's probably I think the weakest episode, and the second one being the finale. But actually, I like the end credit scene of the finale, which we won't spoil for the people.
Yes.
But that was trippy. That was bugged out, right?
Yes. Now, my absolute favorite, maybe of the whole show, was the Reparations episode.
Okay. So, yes, no, that is a very good episode. That is an extremely good episode. And so not only is it not about the main characters, it clearly takes place in another dimension or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the concept is the episode, it starts off with a white dude and they're in a dimension where they legalize reparations. And then they just show the example of like what an average white dude goes through having to hear that he's getting reparations tax. Which was bugged out. That was absolutely bugged out. Right?
Oh man, it was so crazy because it was another show that literally ended on a twist I wasn't expecting. Like the whole episode, the main white guy in it was freaking out. He was nervous. He didn't know what to do. I'm sorry if I'm giving away too many spoilers, but he lost his family, his wife and his daughter, because of how they were coming to the conclusion of the reparations. And at that very end, he makes a connection with another guy that's through the same.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't finish.
Yes,
don't
okay.
finish that thought. I know where you're getting at.
And I was just like, okay, this is gonna end happily ever after.
I think people would think one or me or somebody would be offended by it. I wasn't offended by it at all. I thought that episode was totally, it was bugged out. You know what it is? Here's what it is. This show is good triggering for people. It absolutely confronts you in a racial way and makes you uncomfortable on multiple levels. If you're just like an average black person, they also bust shots on the ghetto and rappers and wannabe drug dealers and stuff like that. There's certainly dissing of that. Then they're dissing like the white people and like all this other stuff. And then they're also dissing their relationships. And so you're going to get challenged eventually through the show. But I think it's all good challenges.
So did you have a personal favorite in that season 3?
So I gotta say, I don't know. I could have been Rich Wigger, Poor Wigger. That really was a great episode. I also like the season opener, 3 Slaps.
My God. Okay. This is one thing, guys, I gotta tell you about Atlanta. There is not one season opener that has not came out like a straight banger. And the 3 Slaps, it was making fun of the 2 white ladies, I believe in real life, that were in Seattle, Washington, who had fostered like 5 or 6 black children and then decided to kill everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's a true story. That's the story of the Hart family. And so it actually took me a while to realize what was going on, and it was because of the kid's hat hugging the cop. I was like, wait a minute, is this based on real life? Like, what is going on here? The episode, and when you know the story and you're watching it, you get scared for a while.
Yes.
And that's some horror shit right there.
Yes.
Like you were talking about.
Yes.
Sometimes the show goes into horror and you're like, what is happening right now? But I was so moved by that. I watched that episode more than once and I was like, oh wow, this shit is a trip, man.
Yeah. There have been a few episodes, and guys, I'm not saying this to be soft. I just appreciate art a lot. There's a lot of episodes in Atlanta that finished in like a happy creative tear is like just hanging right here because the episodes were so well thought out.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of them.
Absolutely beautiful. It's beautifully constructed. It's beautifully done. I love the shit out of the show. I hope it gets 6 or 7 seasons. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and it's funny that the episodes for season 3 that we're all saying like we love so much are all episodes not featuring the main cast.
Mm-hmm. It is, and yeah, it's very interesting. Like I said in the beginning, that's actually what makes the show so unique to other shows, because a lot of shows have fill-in episodes that don't progress the storyline, but they're still just the same main characters in it.
Right.
And so this
they
one
just do other characters, but you learn a lesson at the end of it. There's definitely something, or at least you used to question things. You're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
You know.
I do not want to get out of here without mentioning the Center Claus episode.
Oh, okay, the Center Claus episode.
Because I could not figure out for the longest what the hell was going on.
Oh, did you not know about that?
I that was the first time I've ever heard of that.
So I didn't know they did it in mass, but I knew of the character Black Peter. And so guys, they're touring out in Europe or whatever, and I don't know, where are they? Norway or Sweden or something. And out there's a Santa had a slave, like a driver, Black Peter or whatever. And typically to celebrate Christmas, they have someone dressed as Santa Claus and his slave servant, and they just have a person who puts on blackface playing him, and that's what they do at malls and all these things. And then so in the episode they start seeing people wearing blackface and they're like, what the fuck is this? And so that I knew that character, and I knew that the people dress up like that. I didn't know people just did it on the regs. Like, I didn't know you could walk down a block and there would be a bunch of people just wearing blackface on Christmas. Like that's some other shit.
Now, when he steps on the stage, man,
like
when he steps on the stage and the whole crowd has the blackface on.
Oh my God.
What do you do? I mean, what are you supposed to do? Because there's been multiple times, including if we go back to, I believe, season 1, where he performed at the school that happened to be in front of a racist crowd, where he's like overlooked the fact that he's about to do some messed up stuff. And it was just like that one time where it was like, I don't know about this one.
He put his foot down. And so I respect it. Actually, it's one of the few times his character Paperboy puts his foot down that I respect, because here's what it is. I love the character Paperboy, but I find him to be moody and sensitive, and sometimes he just needs to mellow the fuck out.
Yeah.
He gets crabby about shit. He's kind of a grumpy dude. And there are times where I'm like, just shut up and perform. But in that particular case, I was like, okay, I take that.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool that he walked away.
And I think they've done a pretty good job writing him to be like a superstar diva, even when he hasn't made it all the way. Like they still give him that kind of diva rapper mentality where, Yeah,
because I think part of his character is he's not sure how to be a diva. Like he wants to be a diva, but he doesn't know how.
Yep.
And like other people tell him, they're like, yo, you're a rapper. You can do whatever you want, bro. You can, put your feet up. You can trash things. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Or sometimes he doesn't spend money on himself, and they're like, you have money. You should.
Right.
Another episode before we end this one, I've got to just say, New Jazz. That's the tripping one.
Oh my goodness.
I like that episode a lot.
Yes, there was so much.
Because it goes on with the further of the plot you were talking about, where he starts to doubt his entourage.
Yep, absolutely.
And he's like, are they really my friends? Are they playing me?
Yeah.
And so I don't know if anyone's had a tripping experience. I'm not admitting to having this, but when you have a realization when you're tripping, there should be a word for that in our language. When you're tripping and you go, wait a minute.
Actualization.
An actualization or revelation, whatever you want to call it. Great episode.
Yes, that was wonderful. That was another one where I thought Darius was going to be more involved, but like he does in a lot of episodes, he just leads them to the
He's
revelation.
Like a spirit guide or something.
Yes. You know what? Atlanta is so weird. If the final episode of the whole show we find out that Darius isn't even a real person, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, he's like you said, he's an alien or something.
Yeah,
just guiding them.
He's never been there. Just like the girl from that episode that was leading Paperboy through the city. Like,
yeah, it was like
did she even really exist?
Tripping imp or something, right? They disappeared. They only exist in the cosmic plane or something.
Yeah.
And so I know it sounds weird that we're talking about Atlanta, about rappers and being poor and black in Atlanta, but that's the type of show we're talking about. It's about that, but it's also about spirituality and the cosmos, and there's deep episodes, and there's just like it's something. It's the next level.
You know what? And I'll say this too for everybody, who's watching, because I think for some people, when they hear us say like they make fun of white people, like that could be a turnoff for some people. But I will say this about them doing that: one, they do it in a very, even though it's funny, in a respectable way, and two, there are very much moments in that show where you can develop empathy for the white. This is crazy. I'm about to say this out loud. You can feel empathy for the white experience because they're not, the characters that they do make fun of are not just spineless. Like, they give them human trait.
Yes.
It's like they're going through a white experience, not the white privilege experience, but like a white experience where they're also are trying to figure out how to deal with race.
Yes, and that's so well said. And I'm thinking back to the Juneteenth episode. Like, for instance, in the episode, the guy whose house it is, who's throwing the white guy who's throwing the party, you think he's the biggest asshole. However, you do know that what he's trying to make the black people comfortable. Mm-hmm. He's just out of it and doesn't know how to do that.
Right.
And that's why he's being an asshole.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And like, he's like, oh guys, he's a white guy. And he's like, I wrote a spoken word poem for this occasion. You're like, what the fuck?
Yep.
You're making it weird, bro. You're making it weird. And so you want to get away from that weirdo. However, it's coming from a place of compassion. I feel you from that. Absolutely.
Yep, for sure. And especially this last season, even in the episode that I wasn't quite clear of, it was like that in Trinity, the Trinity episode, and also in the Reparations episode, where like you can feel what they're going through, even if that's not your own experience.
They were very compassionate to the white guy who had to pay reparations.
Yeah, they
were very compassionate. I do notice, I will say, when they make fun of whites, though, I do notice it's upper class whites. It's not just like regular whites.
Yeah, you did say that. They definitely don't make fun of white people that struggle.
Yeah.
At all.
And so, like, for instance, in that Reparations episode, you said he made a connection with another person, another man in the show. And that dude is clearly some working class guy. He's got the thick Southern accent. And he was like, he was just a regular old Joe. And he was not an asshole at all.
Right.
So that's an example of that. But this show is freaking amazing. Season 4, we just had season 3, but season 4 is coming out in sometime in the fall. So we're going to get another season this year because they were so behind and delayed. But before we sign off, do you have any final thoughts on Atlanta?
I don't want to share too much. It's like one show that I would recommend to anybody to watch because it's funny. It makes you think about a lot of things, and there's moral relevancy to the show. You just have to watch it for more than just what they're showing you on the screen. Listen to what they're saying, listen to how look at their mannerism, everything, because it's Donald Glover's a freaking genius. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I know he really is. He's got so many skills. I mean, I love him as a rapper. Clearly, he's a good comedian, and obviously, he's proving now that he's an artiste, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not an artist, an artiste.
For sure.
But yeah, and you know what's funny? We talked about so many episodes and so many things. If no one in this chat has seen it, I bet you could see it and still be surprised, and there's still great comedy and fun and shenanigans to be had. We really revealed not even that much about anything.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you have any plugs or shout outs you want to do before we
All
sign
right.
off?
Yep. Let's shout out to Dope Dynamics that's about to come on here. Me, the Hold Up TV, Steve, Princess Bex, and Da Vinci.
Right.
Obviously, PLL, the Power Love Latinas, are coming on tomorrow night, and I'm going to be doing a fundraiser during Request Box for the nonprofit that I work for, Q Kids, on Thursday after that show.
Okay, what's it called? Q Kids?
Yep, Q Kids. Yep, it's a nonprofit dance team. We do it in the Weston community of downtown Cincinnati, and we just basically give an outlet for young girls between the age of 4 and 18 to do something after school instead of just roaming around the streets.
Hell yeah. If you want to drop that any links of that into the chat, I'd like that, and also hit me that up in Discord. So I'm gonna end up putting it in this video description so people have a chance to donate. That is a super worthy cause. This is me signing off on Rogue Planet Fat Mantis, now in HD. Guys, check out Atlanta. Thank you so much for coming in. Lainey, Miss Hippie, Public Friend, Hold Up TV, Princess Bex, Izzy, Great Winthrop. If I missed any of you, I'm trying to scroll through it to see who. But much love. This is the Fat Mantis signing off. Until next time, ciao for now.